What's up, guys? So when I left you last, we were having a little bit of troubles. We were struggling, let's be honest. We were trying to figure out how to do this belongs to many relationship, and I had no idea how to do it. And after some long research and getting some help from the Feathersjs people, they are great, by the way, I figured out I can actually literally just do what this line is right here. I've added the necessary stuff, so I can just take an instance of the to-do list and I can pass in a user to share it. So let's dig into the details of how that actually works. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new thing in our schema. So we're creating a mutation here, root mutation. So let's go up here, and we'll put it down here. We're going to say share to-do list. Now to share the to-do list, what we want to do is we're going to pass in the list ID, which is a string, and then a user ID. And that's basically the list you want to share and who you want to share it to. And then of course the token to authenticate. And then out spits out, what do you want to spit out? A to-do list spits out with the association. The newly formed association, I guess. So now we can come over to our resolvers, come down here. Now we go to our mutation. This is the interesting part. So now just down here, share to-do list. So we pass in list ID and user ID and then the token. Now what goes here? That is the interesting part. So we're going to do to-do list dot get, and now we're going to get the list ID. So this will actually get us the to-do list that we want to share. And then dot then. Once we have this to-do list, we now need to get the user. So we're going to say get capital users. Is it users or users? Let's see what I put in here. Users, okay, so I was right. Users dot get, and we're doing the exact same thing. User ID, grab the user that we want. Okay, does that look we're not tabbed over right? There we go. That looks slightly better. It's out of space. Okay, and then dot then. We can drop that to an extra line. Dot then user, and then there we can do stuff. So I'm not sure how we're going to do the pub sub thing, if we want to do a subscription or not. Let's say no subscription for now. Keep it simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our list ID here and our user ID here, or not the IDs, but the to-do list itself and the user ID. And we're going to say the to-do list that we just fetched dot add user, and then pass in user. So what that'll do is it'll just go ahead and add the to-do list to that, and I guess we can return this. I don't know if this returns an object or not. We're going to find out what this returns. So first I just want to go to the graphical UI and see if this works at all. I know this add user will add a user, and we'll just see if it actually happens. So okay, I'm just going to come over here. Before we start, I'm just going to go to pSQL, connect to our database, and so check out what it looks like. So if we come back over here, we're connected, we select all from share, I believe it was share to-do list, share, We can see we have a few. This is when I was testing stuff, so we can just drop that. Delete from share to-do list. Okay, so now we have no basically shared to-do list. Now we can get out of here. Whoops. And let's start the server up. Make sure we don't have any kind of problem with configuration, syntax errors. Okay, it looks like we have a console log. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. I think I had it in the index here. Console, yep. Bye. Come back to resolvers because that's what we're going to have to look at. So I'm going to pop out to the GraphQL and let's do some fiddling around. Now, first let's log in and password. And actually, I just thought of this. When we share a to-do list, we want to pass in the username, not the password itself. So let's do that. Because this actually, let's fix this. I made a mistake. I didn't think this through. No, when you're sharing a to-do list, you want to, as a user, you just want to pass in the user or their email, not their username, because we're not using usernames. So if I go to schema, instead of this, you just do email instead of user ID. Now I can come back to my resolver. Now instead of just doing get, I have to do find. And, oh man, we're going to have to remember find syntax. Let's go look that up. Feathersjs find. Because this has an interesting way of how it works, if I remember right. So we have to make a query object in here. Query name is equal to Alice. So kind of what we want to do there. But instead what we want to do is we're going to say email is equal to email. Email. And I think I need to do it like this. Could be wrong. But just to be safe, I'll wrap it in quotations. So we find the user that we want, we grab the user, and then we add the user to the to-do list. And this is a little bit of wrapped callbacks. Thank JavaScript for that. And let's restart the server. Syntax good? Yep. Alright, come back over here. So let's log in. So Bob. I have a syntax error. I have another, oops. Okay. So Bob exists, and just, I think I made a Bob1. That'll be the user we share him with. Bob1. Okay, do I have a Bob2 possibly? There we go, we have Bob2. So we'll share Bob2. And let's get his ID, or data ID. So his ID is 2. So now when we look at the database later and we share with Bob2, we should see an ID of 2 in the database. So remember that. But let's just log in with Bob1 right now. Let's grab his token. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just create a new to-do list. Let's going to call it share me. And let's do snake case, because why not? And that's all I want. Token. Pass that in. And all I want in return is to see the ID. Okay. That did not work. Did we get a problem on the server? Not authenticated? Possibly I just need a refresh. Unknown operation named undefined. I think it created this, but it didn't create it. Create to-do list. Create to-do list. And found the problem. We're not actually returning a to-do list here. we're just pub subbing it. So to-do list, there we go. So restart that. So we'll call it share me 5. There we go. And its ID is 11. So we should see a mapping between 11 and 2 after we do this. So do I still have the token? Yep, I do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say share to-do list, passing in the list ID, which we want to share that to-do list, and we want to share it with Bob2 and pass in the token. And what we'd like to see, and we won't get anything, that's fine, just create it. Okay, we forgot to do it again over here. No, we didn't forget the add user. Add user, it looks like it just doesn't return anything, which I guess is fine. We'll have to return like true or false of whether it worked, I guess. So now let's go into our database and see whether it worked. Oh, need to connect first. Connect, now select. Very cool, guys. So notice how we have the user ID 2 is connected with the list ID 11. Exactly what we expected to see. Okay, so now, whoops, did not mean to go over 1 too many. Now what I kind of want to do is I kind of would like to return whether it worked or not. So we can do errors. I guess this doesn't return anything. Let's just create an object, I guess, then. Let's see if this says, does it say whether it'll be add project? Doesn't really have. I was looking for like what the return type of add project was, and let's just for now console.log it what the return is, because it looked like it was passing null back, so I don't know if it's just not passing anything, it's a void function, which is entirely possible, or whether just GraphQL is being weird. Let's see if I have a Bob3. Okay. And it returns a promise. The add user. I guess I could do dot then. Yeah. So we can stack this even further. One more level. I don't want to tab it like that. Dot then. New to-do list. New to-do list. Return that. Now let's see if that will return a to-do list for us. Maybe there's Bob4. Failed to fetch. It's going to return, this guy's going to return this dot this. Oh, can have a semicolon there. Okay, go. Really? It's not going to return anything, okay. So let's see what this new to-do list is. Or maybe it's because it's not bubbling up. Because I did dot then. Yeah, it's just probably not bubbling up. Oops. So to stop that, get rid of that. And then this one, okay. Refresh that. I don't think I have a Bob 5. Okay, return an empty list. Maybe it's because, oops, maybe because I don't have a Bob 5. Let's do one that I know I don't exist. Okay. Okay, so did that. Let's do Bob 1. Share him with himself. Oops, just Bob. It's a list. So now it's a list of lists. What the heck? So what I want to do is 0, 0? That seems so weird. Let's try one more time. Copy this because we're going to need a new sign up, email, Bob5, password, Bob5. There we go. Now we can share with Bob5. Not really sure why that didn't work. 0, 0. Let's see if we can go down to a previous list item. We can. So, didn't restart the server. That's why. I was like, why did that not work? 9. Still not going to do it. Huh. Let's pipe that so we can see there's data in there at all. 8. Null still. At this point, I'm kind of like just return true or false, right? What was I looking for? Oh yeah, log. I think it's data values? Is that what I want to return? Yeah. Instance data values. Dot data values. Which is not a to-do list, so now I can see why it's not working. Dot data values. So let's add to our schema new thing. User ID, list ID. So this is going to be type to-do list shared. And what it's going to return is a user ID, which is an integer, and a list ID, which is also an integer. And instead of share, there we go. Share, oops, to-do list shared. Okay, now let's start that up. Oh, integer. So GraphQL integer. Look like what the problem is you can't have a type of integer. QL integer. Integer. GraphQL int. Could you show me what that looks like? Do I use GraphQL int? I can just do string. This documentation's confusing, and does it have an example? No. Well, no, it doesn't. I actually can't figure out what the syntax is for an integer in GraphQL. Do I really just do GraphQL int? Oh, there we go. Integer. And cool, we're compiling. Why is it auto-adding ID? Oh, it needs to refresh. Sometimes you have to refresh GraphQL so it refreshes the documentation. Okay, run that. And voila! It returns the shared to-do list. Very nice. Okay, that's what we wanted. Now what I want to try is, let's say we try sharing it with someone who doesn't exist. Cannot read property 0 of undefined. Okay, so we get an error. That's good. So we can basically read that in our client then when we're sharing. So let's go ahead and implement this. You can keep that server running. Real quick, we don't want to check right now. Close, thank you. I'll just commit this because we got that working. So many-to-many relationship between to-do list and user. All right, let's start on the client. Oops, I did not mean to open node modules. That's a lot of folders that it just opened up. Okay, so home, view, let's create a new component. It's basically to-do form, but we're gonna have a different thing. So let's copy, come on. This is going to be share form. In her view, copy that, share form, and then I'm just going to put it at the very bottom. Oops, not that far down. This view to do form. So below our scroll view. Let's put it here. Yeah, actually, let's just start from the top and go down. That's fine. Const submit. Text is fine. We're not going to pass in create to do. It's going to be share to-do list. And list ID would be helpful to have, or we need to know it, that way we can share it. So let's pass that as a prop, just like we do for to-do form. So we just want to do that. Pass in all the props in, just like this. There we go. Empty, I guess it'd be shared user. Text.trim, put required. That's fine. Else share to-do list. giving a list ID and the text, which is going to be the person's email. And let's just replace text with email so we don't get confused. Okay, so we're checking. That looks good. This will be a share form, to do form, to share form. Okay. This will be an email field. This will be share. Component, we still want a text field. Is it capital? Yeah, it is. Text field. Text input? No, I called it literally an email field. Text field. Input. Let's come down here. Button, this will be share to-do list. This will be share. Handle submit, passing in values, create to-do. This will be share to-do list instead, and we're still passing in the list ID. Coming down here, create our mutation. This will be share to-do mutation, to-do list. And for this, come over here, grab that, and then the mutation, basically the same. Get rid of those. Basically the same variables, we just won't have a complete variable. And then list ID, pass in the list ID, email, pass in the email, and of course our token. And then we'd like to see the user ID and the list ID back, just to make sure it worked. And then should share to do GraphQL. GraphQL. And let's just change this to share to-do list mutation. This will be share to-do list, passing in the list ID and the email. Getting the token from the props, email and list ID we have. And this will be share form. This will be to do GraphQL. This will be share to do GraphQL. Share form. Okay, I think that's good. Let's refresh over here. See if we can see our form at the bottom. We can. And if we add some to-dos, okay, it pushes it down. Nice. Let's make sure it doesn't go below. It does. That's really annoying. Worry about that in a second, I guess. First, I just want to check to see if this share does anything at all. So let's share this new list, hello 2, I guess. With, oh, it's capitalizing, get rid of that. I think it's auto capitalized. I forgot, let's just look it up. React Native, capitalize, input. Was there auto capitalize? It was auto capitalize equal to none. Capitalize. Refresh. Type Bob. Auto cap hit. Spell it wrong. Capitalize. Okay, yeah, there we go. Capitalize. Am I actually just bad? I am. It's capital. We're done spelling that. Just copy and paste. There we go. So let's share this with Bob5. Cannot find variable share to-do list. Share to-do list. Even though we're passing in the props right here, and we're doing this right here, you cannot find it. Oh, I know what the problem is, guys. Right here. Create to-do list. We don't want that. That should be shared to-do list. There we are. We weren't parsing it from the props. Or not parsing it, but taking it. So share. We're not getting any kind of feedback. That's fine. With mutations, can I do a dot then? Dot then data. Just so we can see it works or something happened. Because I could also look at this backend, but I don't really want to do that. Can't even tell if the button went off. Is it even fired? How do I look at whether the mutation worked or not? How do you get the return of a mutation? I feel like I've done this before, but I can't remember how I did it. Let's look. I have to have done this before. Just getting the return value of a mutation. Probably did it in that one GraphQL one I did. Yeah. I thought it was dot then, but I guess not. These are all queries. No. It'd be in main. Should be something in main. There you go. Mutation. Mutate dot then. We were in console logging it. Sorry guys. I was expecting something in the output and I wasn't seeing anything, so I thought something wasn't working. That was only because I forgot to console log it. Okay, that worked. Bob3. And looks like that worked correctly. Okay, so we're setting up this association in the database, right? That's exactly what we want to see. But here's the thing. Let's say I share it with Bob3. Bob3 is not going to see it in his to-do list over here. Because we're not actually setting up the share code. Like, we're making the share, but we're not, I'm just going to delete some of these. We're creating the share, but we're not actually showing it on this sidebar. So let's do that. Because right now we're just pulling in to-do lists that you create, not to-do lists that you're related to. So this will be actually kind of interesting to figure out how do you find to-do lists that you're related to. Okay, there we go. Come on over here. Let's actually create one list. I think I deleted all of them. That's not good. So really what I want to do is, how am I getting the to-do list right now? let's just see, loading, over here, query. Okay, so I'm doing this. Let's copy this. Let's first log in again so we can get a token. And actually, I should just set one down here. I'm sorry, I should have been using this, guys. I just kind of forgot about it. I'll show you. This is a pretty cool thing. So what I can do is I can take this token here, and I can just say token. Oh wow, token. Okay, every time I type a letter, it does that. So I'm guessing it. Oh, that's okay. It's auto completing for me. Okay, I guess I was just doing it wrong. Let's see if this does anything. And it does. Very cool. Now what else? So what we would really like to do is have something that's like, we're getting the to-dos, right? We also want to get like a shared to-dos attribute onto the to-do list. Oh no we don't. We want that as part of the viewer up here. So part of viewer is you can get, or as part of a user, I guess, you can get shared to-do lists. So just real quick, I want to see what the best, because we're just querying. Okay. This is kind of what we want to do. Find all projects with at least one task where task state is equal to project.task. So task.state equal to project. Sequelize.column. Okay, so let's do something like this. This kind of looks. So what we want to do is like to-do lists, find all, and then we're passing a user model where user.state or user.id is equal to project or to-do list.id, something like that. I think this is what we want. It's hard to, in my head, just transfer what it is, so let's start writing it down. We have the server running. We can close that. Okay, let's full screen. So we need to create a hook for our user. So I actually do need this back. Feathersjs generate hook. And this is a very similar hook to what I did before with the to-dos that let us, I'll show you guys, add relationship. When I included this here, we're basically doing the exact same thing. So before hook, this is for user. And this is only on, it's going to be a find or a get. No, this is going to be a find. Shoot. I accidentally pushed enter. So what you just saw me do is fat finger and accidentally create this, and I did the wrong thing, so I'm just going to kill it real quick. Actually, I'm curious if it'll overwrite over the files. So let's try not deleting them and just create them again. For hook, user. This is going to be a find, not a create, not a patch. Looks like it just overrode them, which is what I wanted to happen. So copy that. Refresh nerd tree. Oh no, I messed something up. When I did this, where was I doing feathers generate? Yeah, I messed something up, guys. So the thing about Feathers.js, move rs source and test, is you need to be in the root folder or it doesn't work. So notice how I was in the source folder instead of this outer root folder. So that was causing a problem. Alright. Now do we see user hook? Let's refresh nerd tree. There we go. That's what we want to see. And actually, so we only want to include this. Include where. So actually, I need to look at the Feathers.js documentation on find to see how that works. Okay, there's pretty basic. There's a Feathers.js equalize. Docs might have it. Documents.params equalize option. Here we go. I think this is where we want. Getting started, options. Let's see if there's a query. Migrations. Apply a migration. We don't need to worry about that right now. Okay, it doesn't look like it has what we want. So let's just give this a try. So the model that I want to add now is to-do list. And now I want to find, I kind of want to do a find all, but I don't think I can. So in the schema, let's add it before we continue. User shared to-do list, and this will be a return a list of to-do lists. Now if we go to resolvers, now we can craft our find method. So possibly, actually, I guess we don't really need to have this hook now that I think of it, because it's actually more of a to-do list. Yeah, changed my mind. I think I know how to do the find, and we don't need this. So delete, yes. And also when you delete a hook, it'll also add an import statement sometimes, and it did. Added it right there, so we just have to kill that. And dang, a lot of hooks going on here. hash password. Okay. So to-do list.find, and we're going to do a query. So let's go back to the query syntax because we're going to do something like that. Okay. Just like you won't want to use SQL names for documents in your database. Okay. Or. So our shared or our to-do lists have a before we do that too is we remember how we have this add relationship hook. This is only added when we create patch. We also need that when we find now because I'm going to be looking for it. And what we're going to query is what would it return? It's going to have a list of, I guess what we're going to look for is user ID, something like this, I guess. Except we're going to be looking at the property. So we're looking at, we're not looking at the name. The query we're looking at, put that in here. Query we're looking at is going to be, actually I don't know what it's going to be. So let's do just a general find to see what it returns. Like if I just find a to-do list, what is that going to return? We're going to have to do some experimenting, guys, because I'm not exactly sure how to go about doing this. So let's just do that for now. Rerun. Forgot to put a comma probably. Yeah. That always gets me. Okay. Now if we do this, and we don't care about any of this stuff, all we want to see is shared. And again, refresh the page to get the docs working. Okay. And name, please. Hello. And what else is there? Root query. Oh. So I don't think we were going to be able to see in GraphQL, so I'm just going to do it here. So data console.log data. And I'm just going to pipe that to a log file because I have a feeling it's going to be quite a bit. Or not quite a bit, but just a, there's going to be something. Okay, some kind of error. Oh, that's expected actually. Okay, users. So we want to search in this users. So let's just look up Feathersjs query has many relationship. Let's just see if there's anything out there. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I don't like this approach at all. Or you can just do the same call to init service. .get and then actually I wonder if there is, when we get the user, I wonder if there is, it gives us the to-do. See how the users, it passes it like this? I wonder on the user side if it tells us the to-do list so we don't even have to do a find. So what I want to do, just for the sake of testing, users, and the hook that I just got rid of, I want to add back, because I just had a new idea of how to get that working. It's going to be a for hook, it's going to be for user, and just for find, and there we go. Oh, did I do it again? I did it again. I'm so bad. I forgot. I forgot I'm in the source folder, so I have to go back up before I can do feathers generate hook. Add relationship. Okay. Now if I go to user, what I want to do is I want to just do this. Exactly what I did here. I want to see this side of the relationship, what kind of data we're getting. So to-do list. And that's it. That's good. I'll just go back to our resolvers to show you guys. So now what I'm to test this, users, should also be doing a find. Here we go. Is I'm just searching what data do they give me when I do a users find. Hopefully some good data. And that's exactly what I was looking for, to-do lists. And actually, let me look at it real quick. Data values. Okay, actually I should just do get, right? Let's get what I want. Passing in passing in contact. Actually, better yet, maybe this user object right here already has it. Console.log user. Okay, that's fine. That weird thing will print. Fine for now. We might have to do get as well. A get hook, just in case. All right. Yes, okay. So shared to-do list is literally return user. We don't even have to do a fetch. Data values dot, and is this? Yep. Data values dot to-do list. Perfect. Run that server. We see no one has shared anything with Bob. But let's log in with Bob too. So log out. Log in. Let's create one. Hey buddy. Create that. Task 1. Sometimes when I click the button, my mouse is being funky. There we go. I'm literally just double clicking. That's so bad. Okay, so let's share. Share go through. There we go. Yes. Now when I share it, I get the, oh beautiful. I get the shared to-do list. So server's all good now. We don't need you anymore. Figured it out. So let's git add all, git commit, git shared to-do list as a user. Cool. Now on the client side, we just need to update our query now. So we're going to do the same thing. So now, shared to-do list, shared to-do list, and it's all these guys. Now I just want to merge them together. So subscribe to new to-do list. That's not what we want. Oh, we had it up here. Now I remember. Set to-do list. Just grab the viewer from next props dot viewer. And so we don't have to change all the reducers. What we'll do is we'll say viewer.shared to-do list. I believe that's what it's called. Just merge them together. Yeah. So now when I log into Bob, I should see hey buddy. So log out. Okay. Viewer.to-do list. So let's just console.log viewer. Could be a syntax thing, or maybe something's messed up here. Looks like it's undefined, possibly because I misspelled something here. Yep, this needs to be shared. Hey, thanks, Victor. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Undefined is not an object. So we're still getting undefined. Is it because my query is wrong? Let's copy and paste this into GraphQL. This will just correct all our mistakes. It's not shared to do lists. There we go. And that fetches nicely. So we can come back, fix it here. So we need to make sure we do the same here. And we do. I have lists. Refresh that. And we see, hey buddy. So this is another list. Now, one thing I just thought of is I'm not sure if we actually have permission to add things / delete things. Yeah, that didn't work. Or maybe my mouse didn't. Nope, my mouse worked. Okay, so I can delete things. Oh, 3. Date. Okay. So we're now able to share and update things. And so now if I go back to Bob2, I should see an item crossed out. And what do we have here? Shared to-do list. To-do list. Sorry about that. So we have undefined non-object cur to-do list dot name. So we are getting objects back. When we merge them, should have stuff. So just refresh. Okay, it has it. It's slashed out. So why do we get that error when we log out? Let's go back to Bob. Okay. Create an item. Log out. Okay. Can't replicate it. Don't know what happened with that error right there. So this to-do list is really ugly right now too. The UI is not what I want it to be. But I want to demo real quick the app side by side with a Android phone. So you can kind of see the subscriptions side by side, hopefully, and see them both run at the same time. I think that'll be pretty cool. So I'm just going to boot up my Android virtual machine. Get rid of this console log stuff for now. So Android AVD. Do create. Sorry, not create. I already want to use this one, start. And I'll just let that boot up for a second. Virtual machine is pretty slow, especially Android one. So let that boot up. Close that. Victor said, I'll definitely watch this whole React Native series. I already researched about a little part, and that's more difficult to understand, is the redux/store thing. Yeah, Redux can be very weird at first, but once I started using it more, I really liked it, and I really liked the way the effect it had on apps and how it worked with integrated in. I'm a big fan of functional programming, and the reducers are pure functions. It reminds me a lot of doing functional programming. But we're just spinning here. I guess I'll just move that out to the side for now. So I'm going to create a new user for this. Log out. I'm going to call this iOS. Let's log in. We need to sign up first. iOS. And actually, well, before I log in, what I want to do is see localhost Android emulator. Because I just need to change something in my code. I remember looking at this once. I have to change it to this number instead of localhost for Android. So to run Android emulator and let it see localhost that I have, the Feather server I have running on my computer, I just need to change in the index here. Get rid of this localhost stuff. There we go. Oops. 10.0.2.2. Okay. Now we can do, okay, so that's blocking. That's fine. React native run Android. Okay, so this will boot up on our Android phone, and let's log in here. Okay, so right now we have no to-do list, so this will be create my first list, and you can see it's lagging a little bit. That's because we're running 2 virtual machines right now. So to create that, and it's just being slow, I think. Yep, my first list. And let's see what's happening with the Android stuff. Okay, it's just compiling still. I guess that'll take some time. So let's create a couple items. So here are some things that the app could use. Error detecting, so or not error detecting, error handling. Oh my gosh, look at that lag. And look at that spam of the mouse, I guess. I don't know. Get rid of these. And it just deleted all of them. I don't know if it's my mouse that's being really wonky or it's just the emulator lagging too. Okay. Error handling. Create. Could be I'm just like putting my computer under too much stress trying to run all these things. This is fine for the example I want to show you guys. It's fine, we have a bunch of duplicates. So it looks like the Android one's almost done here. Looks like it's building, and if we come down here you can see what percent. .64. I'll just let it do its thing. See if I can just like click this bottom one and delete one of these to-do list items. It's deleting all of them. Is it because they're all the same name, I wonder? No, it shouldn't. They should create different IDs. Error handling. Click. That was me clicking once, and it's creating 4 of them. Do not know why it's doing that. And I think we're getting this error because we have no to-do list, I'm guessing. Sign up. Okay. Android. sign up. Unhandled. So let's see, did it make a connection to the server? Hard to say. Just refresh. What we can do is actually we can just do pSQL connect. Not been a WAD. RN to do. Select all from users. Okay, so it did create an Android one. So reload. We now need to log in. Okay, let's see if it'll let us log in before we just crash. It should be detecting if the user is logged in or not, and then it takes them to the correct page. Let's debug this real quick. And close that window now. So we're getting a little bit of a difference in Android, but also notice how it looks very similar on Android and iOS. That's the power of React Native, is being able to build both of them. So loading, view, check if signed in happens. So that'll be in our epic. Get token. So let's .do action. I'm curious if it's just getting an old token. I think it might be. I'm gonna do this real quick. I think what it's happening is I logged in with Android once before, and I think, yeah, I just had an old token in there that was messing it up. Okay, so now I'm gonna log in with Android. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to share this with Android. So share, see if we can see it here. And we do, we see it looks like the share went off. So now if I refresh my Android view, oops, I need to select out of this text view, or this text input I mean. There we go, refresh. We now see my first list and we see error handling. That's quite interesting. We're seeing it 4 times here, but only 1 time here. So that's something we can debug in a minute after we check out this. So I guess that makes sense why I deleted 1. They're both deleting. But let's add a to-do item. I am from Android. And look at that, I typed it, but it's just super slow. Now we create, and you see how it populated over here, added twice over here, added a bunch of times over here. But that is subscriptions happening there, so we get that real-time sockets to both of these. This is super slow, so I'm just going to close this. Kill the AVD. I just wanted to show you guys the Android one working, and how I have 2 phones up and they're both running at the same time and passing the data in. Okay, but I want to see what's going on over here, and I need to come back, change it back to localhost now. I think I have to escape dots. Actually, no, I don't. not, I don't think I have to, yeah, actually maybe I do have to escape dots. I think I do. So dot 0 dot 2 dot 2, change that with localhost. Alright. I'll just give this a refresh. Now we only see one item here. Now if I create an item, hello, only adds it once. So for whatever reason, when I booted up Android, this thing started freaking out. I don't know if it's just because I have two emulators open is the problem. What I can actually do real quick is, actually no, I was going to suggest I could run the it on my phone because I have an Android phone, but then I wouldn't have access to localhost. But this is, I think what I'm going to do is stop here for now for developing the to-do list. I feel like I got to a pretty good point, and the UI is very ugly. I apologize for that, guys. I am not a UI developer or UX guy at all. I am terrible with design, but this has a lot of good functionality, and I hope going through and getting this far you saw that the subscriptions, how we did those, was very cool with the real-time updating, and everything that came in, the backend work with Feathersjs to get the models to work, and the many-to-many relationships. This was a long journey to come here, and I know this is just like a huge stream. It's very long, so I don't know even how many people are going to make it to this point. But if you are interested in seeing more with this to-do list, you want to see more features, there's probably hundreds of bugs in this all over the place. If there's something you specifically want to see, let me know. Leave a comment on YouTube. Tell me what feature you want to see, and I'll just make shorter videos adding features to the to-do list from now on. Because I feel like the streaming is I like how raw and uncut it is, and I like just, you guys can see the whole process. But I've taken it to a pretty good point. I've spent a lot of time on getting it here, and I just want to basically, now it's your guys' turn. Take a look, see, play with the code a little bit. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see changed, and go from there. Because right now this is just, if you will, waterfall development. I just went through the whole thing, adding all this stuff in. I want to do more agile development with you guys. So let me know if there's stuff you want me to add. For now, I'm going to leave this as is. I'm just going to commit the code real quick. So get status, get add all. We just added sharing to-do lists. Push that up, origin master, and we will close the client for now. And are we just lagging when we're pushing this up? There we go. And same is the, okay, we're up to date with the server. I'm just gonna kill tmux right now, kill sessions. We're done working on the app for now. Shut it down. Also close that over here. And that's it for now, guys. I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Are you using JWT on this for auth? Victor asks. I am using JWT. So Feathers, I'm doing it all through Feathers. It takes care of the authentication for me, and it gives you the token, and you use that for auth. We can kill this now. Terminal. Simulate.